What is up, everybody?
Woo!
We are back with episode 21.
In full force. All three.
We're legal to drink.
2.5.
2.5.
2.5. But nonetheless, we are here. For everybody that doesn't know us, we are Beyond Us. I am Daniel. I am joined once again by Salo.
Woo!
And the returning, although not necessarily welcome, Brett.
Welcome back.
We thank you for joining us on this adventure. We are excited to be here. 21 episodes, gentlemen.
That is a journey.
Crazy to think about. We're 5 episodes away from a year.
Hey, we've been consistent. Got to pat ourselves on the back
next
for that.
time will be 4.
I don't know what you said, Brett.
I said next time will be 4 episodes
Yep.
away.
That is how math works.
Yes.
Oh, look at you.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, Brett. We can
be
feel it.
Taught.
I'm just trying to match the energy of last episode where we also mentioned how close we are to a year.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
Deja vu. But yeah, no, it's exciting. We're almost there. 21 episodes. It's kind of crazy. I don't know about y'all. I come prepped with a couple of topics. Also, we have a couple questions. I checked the YouTube. No questions on the YouTube this time. Apparently, Amber has not forgiven us yet.
One day. Amber, please. That's all I got.
But
I'm sure she'll come around.
We do have some questions on the Twitter. Why don't we start with one?
All right.
So I think this would be a good one to get started with. Murphy wants us to name a band or singer, some type of musician, that we're embarrassed to admit we really like listening to. So I'll go first while you guys think. I would like to preface this with, I'm not really embarrassed to listen to anything I like. I really, like, if I like it, I'm proud of that. Like, I watch musicals. I love Rent. Wicked's one of my favorite musicals of all time. I listen to everything. I listen to country. I listen to pop.
You like musicals?
I love musicals. I tried to have Brett watch Rent, and he was done about halfway through. Right around when...
it's not even that I don't like musicals.
It was the mooing. It was the mooing that got me.
Yeah. I was done after that.
It's the worst scene in the movie, by far.
That was so bad.
He walked
other
away.
Other parts were pretty good. Like, I was impressed, especially with some of the songs. But when it started,
I tried to tell him come back.
It's
the worst part of the movie. Mm-hmm. Everyone hates it. Just come back. And he was like, "No, I'm going to bed.
I'm good."
So I if I bump to it, I bump to it, and I'm proud of that. Like. I know I don't look like the guy that would bump to musicals, but I do. But I guess an unexpected artist that I like, I fuck with Jesse McCartney.
Okay, that is controversial almost. Jesse McCartney.
Jesse McCartney had a lot of good songs. Beautiful Soul might be one of the best songs I've heard in a long time. And I didn't get into Jesse McCartney's music when he first started. I got into his music after he ended up being the voice of Robin on Young Justice. Then I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. It wasn't bad. And then he was on The Masked Singer a couple years ago, and I knew it was him because of the clues. So I'd say Jesse McCartney. I think his music's actually really good.
I don't know if I'm familiar with his music.
I'm sure. I'm 1,000,000,000% positive you've heard Beautiful Soul.
Like,
I've heard Beautiful Soul.
Probably have. I don't know
offhand
his relation to music. Yeah,
I understand. I would definitely say, like, after the podcast, I'll remind you, Beautiful Soul, I'm 1,000,000,000% positive you've heard. It was super popular when we were younger.
It's like those songs that people used to like to play for the graduation, the sad, beautiful songs.
Yeah.
Along the lines of that.
Sure.
The
Was that
unwritten
sad?
song. No, that was
I
unwritten.
found that
by...
song really peppy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I, also, every time I see that song, all I can think of is Terry Crews.
Why is that?
White chicks.
Ah. I don't know. I've seen White Chicks. I just don't remember the soundtrack from it.
You don't remember Terry Crews losing his mind to that song?
It's been a while, my friend. I haven't seen it. I need to rewatch it, don't I?
Oh my God! Yes, you do apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I would probably say Jesse McCartney
Okay.
or Bieber. I fuck with a lot of Bieber's music.
I think I was going to say Bieber.
I fuck
And
with a lot
more-
of Bieber's music.
His
recent
mainly his
music.
his recent music. Yes.
Peaches was a banger.
Peaches was great.
Peaches was
so
a
good.
banger.
So good. So that would probably be mine. If,
That's fair.
Like I'm not necessarily embarrassed by it.
Right, that's the thing. Like, if I like
Because
it,
I'm
I'm
not-
cool with it.
I'm not bumping his like preteen
Baby.
Yeah, I'm not listening to Baby on a regular basis.
Nah.
You know,
But like, love yourself.
Just you in the car. It's a baby.
But like, love
Just rocking
yourself and
rolling.
Peaches were both bangers.
Peaches was great. It was unexpected. I did not expect that from him.
Brett and I heard it on the
outside
way
of-
down to South Carolina, and we didn't know.
we had no idea it was him. We were just
heard
like,
that
"What
shit,
is
and I'm
this
like,
song?"
This is a banger, and I had to Shazam that shit. I'm like, yo, you're not gonna be happy with this. He's like, what? I'm like, it's Bieber. He's like,
I remember
no.
you guys talking about that.
No.
Yeah, that's
It
when-
was
when I
so
went to hang
weird
out.
too because, like, we were listening to like my phone the entire time up until that point. I lost service, and we were like, "Fuck it, let's just turn on the radio and see what we hear."
find,
and
yeah.
that came on. We're like, "The fuck is this?"
This is a banger. And then it got the remix.
I remember like as it was going. Like, we're just slowly bumping to it. We just kind of look over at each other like, what? What is this?
Yeah, that shit was dumb.
This shit kind of hot.
Yeah, Bieber's a good answer. Salo?
So same thing with you guys. I don't really think I'm embarrassed of anything, but I think if there was anything unexpected like that I would like to listen to, I like Tarzan, the original animated soundtrack. Tarzan. So the guy who primarily sang the songs for Tarzan, the original motion picture, was Philip Collins, and I just like his music. It's pretty dope. It's very Disney like. I think that's the closest to something I don't think people would expect I listen to. Everybody knows I listen to country, but
All right, so I just want to make sure you know this. Phil Collins, he's like legendary.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think there's any reason to be embarrassed about.
No
listening
one
to Phil
would be
Collins.
embarrassed listening to Phil. Phil Collins is the lead singer of Genesis.
really.
Yes.
So yeah, see, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Phil Collins
Tarzan.
is legendary. No one would. If you said who's your favorite artist and someone said Phil Collins, everyone would be like, "Oh, okay."
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Like I don't. No one would ever look at you and be like, "Really, Phil Collins?"
Okay.
Of
So the
all
Encanto,
people.
the new Disney movie Encanto, it had a soundtrack. Those are bangers.
Encanto
I don't give
did
a
have
fuck.
some bangers. I'm not gonna front.
Encanto had some bangers.
I'm not going front. I
Whoa.
got tired of hearing. We don't talk about Bruno.
That's overplayed.
I
They
got
have so much
tired
better
of
soundtracks.
Hearing it,
Way better.
it was
songs.
good. I just got tired of listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that happened with Frozen. Like,
Yeah,
so
I ignored the Bruno thing. I don't like that meme. It was a meme.
I think that's the problem that people don't understand, and why not discuss it? People oversaturate a song so much that other people start to hate it.
Yeah.
So do you guys recognize doing that? Like when you listen to a song, you're like, this is a banger. I need to stop listening to this because it's going to get old.
No, because if I like it, I'll listen to it, but I won't force it on other people constantly.
Yeah, that's
if
the
I
problem.
like it
Especially
and I
for
put
people,
headphones in, I can listen to the same song on loop for an hour.
especially for people that hadn't seen the movie. All they just hear is that song over and over. Like, that's why I didn't like the Frozen song. I hadn't even watched the movie yet, and I was tired of the fucking song.
Right.
It was the same for the Bruno song. I hadn't watched the movie yet, and I was like, this is so annoying.
I heard that song 200 times before I saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got to that part of the movie, I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch this song. I did because I wanted to actually see what went with the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this. I can't remember any of the names, but that sister that raps during that song, she can go. She can handle it. But it still killed the song for me because I heard it so many times. That's the difference. I can listen to a song by myself as much as I want. It won't kill the song for me if I like it.
You're choosing to listen to it.
You listen to the same song or sing the same song
over and over
times a day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like that kills music for people. And I think
actually
that's
have to moderate it. I have to moderate. Like, if I find a song that I like and I really, really like it, I actually do oversaturate myself.
Yeah,
and then I listen to it and I'm like...
Yeah, that does happen to some people. Some people burn themselves out of a song they like.
Sometimes I'll like a song and I'll lock it in a vault in a secret playlist, and I'm like, I'm not going to touch that until like a couple of weeks from now or something. You know?
So here's the thing, though. If that happens, you only have yourself to blame. When other people burn out a song for you, they're just dickheads.
I'm my own dickhead. Confirmed. 2022.
It's not exactly how.
I mean, in regards to like, you know, the Bruno and Frozen song, like.
Oh, the Frozen song.
It wasn't, at least in my experience, it wasn't so much people were just trying to be dicks. Like, oh, I'm just going to play this in front of you over and over again to annoy you. People just kept playing it. And it was a mass of people. So, like, because so many people kept playing it.
Yeah, but then there are groups of people who somebody will say, like, oh my God, I'm tired of hearing this song. And they'll just turn it up. Song.
Yeah.
Those are the worst kind of people. I hate this song. Turns it all the way up. Okay. Now I hate it even more.
Or like, I'm like, fuck, man, can we just not listen to it on loop?
Had to have been worse for people that had, like, kids.
So that's different. And for the parents out there that had to watch that movie 1,000 times, I sympathize. I mean, hell, do you guys remember with Netflix, that lady that Netflix actually sent, like, paramedics to check on her because their analytics came back and she had watched the B movie on loop for, like, 150 days straight?
I didn't know. That's
I'd never heard that.
I heard about the B movie part, but I didn't hear about them actually sending, like, a safety.
How it worked, but, like, Netflix got their analytics back. I don't remember how long it was, but it was the B movie pretty much on loop for a very long time. Far longer than it had any right to be. And, like, Netflix reached out to check on this lady to make sure she was okay. Because it was just the same thing nonstop.
I remember when my sister's growing up. Like, for them, it was the Shrek movie. Like, the first Shrek, which was a great movie. So they'd come up to me and like, hey, can we watch this? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. I like Shrek. And then we'd finish it. I'm about to leave. Let's watch it again. I'm like, okay. And then again, and then again, and again. And I'm just like, yo, this has to stop. There was a period I didn't like the Shrek movie because of how much I watched it with my sisters. That's past now, and I still love Shrek, but
I know what you mean. Like, Amanda loves, like, we'll watch a movie on Tuesday when it premieres, and then next week comes along and say, hey, you want to go watch it with my friends? I'm like, I saw that entire movie a week ago in full in theaters. What am I gonna go do in theaters again? I'm not good with rewatching movies. I'm just not. I can't do it. Like, you already read the plot. You already know how it ends. I can't do it.
I can rewatch a movie.
I don't know
Has
if
to
I
be a
can
good
rewatch it immediately.
Like, exactly. Like, not the next week. Give me, like, a month at least. And even then, I won't go to the theaters. I don't want to.
I'll
Watch it
go
from home,
see a
pirate
movie
it.
in theaters more than once if I'm going with a different group because it'll be a different experience.
That's fair. And I'm sure that's why people do it.
So I pulled it up just to check the numbers. Netflix sends someone to check on subscriber who watched the Bee Movie 357 times in the span of a month and a half.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, the mother of, quote, obsessed 10-month-old has tried getting the child to watch other movies, including Trolls, Cars, and other Disney films, but nothing works like the Bee Movie.
A 10-month-old is already addicted to a 10-month-old.
Found the movie, and it's probably the only thing that calms down the temp. Every kid has that one thing that just calms them down for no reason.
I know for a lot of kids, it used to be the Cars movie. Ka-chow!
For me, I think it was Thomas the Tank Engine.
I liked Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood calmed me down a lot. It was pleasant.
One of my sisters, it was
know
Bear in the
what
Big
Tommy
Blue
did.
House. One of my sisters was obsessed with Bear in the Big Blue House. And my other sister, my oldest sister, Alyssa, she loved this horrifying show. Oh, it was terrifying. Boobas?
Never heard of it.
Oh my god, you need to look up what a boobah looks like. It's like a monstrous looking Teletubby.
Whoa!
I'm not kidding. Boobahs are terrifying.
That is terrifying. Brett, I need you to look this up.
They're petrifying. Like, the fact that this was a children's show is not okay.
It looks like almost like a bearded man in a little gremlin
Like a
costume.
weird fat suit.
Yeah, super weird.
They're like monstrous Teletubbies. They're terrifying.
I really don't like this image. There's one where he has a bunch of like pool balls in his mouth. I don't like that.
Oh, I see that one. That's
I don't know why
terrifying.
What are you guys looking up? Hold on a minute.
Yeah, just put
Bro,
Booba in
it's
there, and
like-
then this is the second picture.
It's like he's looking into your soul.
Are you guys looking at the same thing as me?
Yes.
Booba? Booba?
BOOHBAH.
I need you to type in BOOBA and look at the image search
you
results
did
now.
type that.
Ugh. That's not good either.
All right, what was the one you wanted me to look up?
BOOHBAH. This is more terrifying, I will say. But the boobas are still really creepy.
Ew.
Oh my gosh! So we were looking at a completely different Booba.
You were looking at Booba.
That's even more terrifying.
BOOHBAH. Booba.
Those
They're
things look like little grapes.
Deformed Teletubbies.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
Those
terrifying.
are like what babies.
But
This
not
is what-
only. But look, here's the thing. If you look at them and you look at the third or fourth picture, there's one that looks realistic. The reason that one looks realistic is because they were toys.
Ugh.
My sister had the purple one.
Look at its eyes. It looks like
I
it's
see
looking
one
back
where
at us.
they just took the purple one's head and put it on a black reflective surface.
They're terrifying.
Ugh. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna get this off of my screen.
That was
All these things.
that was a children's show, and my oldest sister, she was obsessed with it, and I had to deal with it because I'm older than her.
That's terrifying, dude. That's where I would draw the line.
Yeah, this shit was creepy.
That's when you introduce her to the reading rainbow or
At
some
one
shit.
point, her nickname became Booba, and I'm like, I'm not calling you that.
All right, I'm gonna transition off of this to something more
Less
comforting from
terrifying?
our childhood. Yeah.
All right.
So I believe we talked about this previously on a podcast.
No, didn't. You're wrong.
The creator of Yu-Gi-Oh passing away.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about that it happened. We never talked about why it happened.
We didn't talk about what happened? Like, we didn't talk about how he died?
I
don't think we
talked
knew.
about. Yeah, no one knew how he died.
They hadn't released cause of death yet, I don't think.
Oh, wow.
So they did release cause of death eventually. It took a while. And the reason it took a while was because they didn't want to hurt someone's feelings necessarily. So I'll give you guys the story. So he died back in July, right? Now in July, I think it was like early in the afternoon or sometime in the afternoon, a U.S. captain, her husband, and a U.S. major were going diving. The major was a diving instructor. He was teaching them to do some deep dives. So they're making their way towards the water when they hear a scream, a woman screaming. And so they start to rush over and they see this woman. She's pointing towards like this cove, and there's her daughter and her boyfriend are there struggling like in the water, about to drown. So she's like calling for help, and these guys, mainly the husband and the major, very good swimmers. So they rush out there to go help, and before they get there, just kind of panning over to the daughter and the boyfriend, there was somebody that rushed over after hearing the screams and tried to help. And so, like, from her account, this guy in red shorts and he had a snorkel on, he was doing some stuff in the water, came over and tried to help pull him out of the water, right? So he's like kind of keeping them afloat, trying to pull them out. And as the major and the husband start, swimming over, a giant wave comes and hits them. All of a sudden, the man in red shorts disappears. So they get over there. They barely managed to get them out. Everyone was struggling, trying to get out of the water. They finally made it out, and everyone was asking the question, where was the guy in the red shorts? Fast forward to some days later, they find Kazuki Takanashi washed up on the beach.
So he died saving somebody's life.
He died
basically.
trying to save people's lives.
Man,
That's really sad.
what a way to go. He's a legend, man.
That reminds me of Shad Gaspard. I know you guys probably don't know who that is, but
we talked about that previously.
did we?
Yeah. How he died trying to save his son.
Yeah, a wrestler during COVID, they went to the beach and there was like a weird like undertide, riptide, and he was like pushing his son to shore, and the lifeguard came out and he told the lifeguard to take his son first, and by the time the lifeguard came back to find him, he was gone. They found him like 2 days later, but he died saving his son's life. Like, which, I mean, I would imagine as a father, like, you'd be willing to make that trade any day.
That's sad.
But it's still really sad.
But yeah, the reason no one knew about it is the authorities, after they made the connection that, hey, this might be him, and then obviously they started to fact check it. They didn't want to release it because they didn't want the girl
To feel
who he tried to
responsible.
save. Yeah, didn't want her to feel responsible for his death, so they kept it hidden. I feel like that's a weird thing to keep hidden, because it's not like, I don't know, it's not like he died in bad circumstances. Like
I don't know. Survivor's guilt is a powerful thing, though.
It is.
Survivor's guilt's rough.
I really hope they let somebody know when they were saved by somebody who they didn't find and couldn't find afterwards. Like,
I would want to know, because I owe them my life.
Yeah, like, dude, where'd you go?
I mean, I guess for like the next few days, like, that was like the only thing she cared about, was where was this guy in red shorts. And it got to the point, because it was never released, because they didn't know anything, like the people involved with that particular case didn't know anything about the fact that this guy was found. They started to think that maybe they didn't see something right. Like, they started to doubt themselves that it actually happened.
Right.
Like, they thought they saw, like, the silhouette of a man trying to help them, but they were paddling through water, so they didn't know if they really saw it. She said that there was some guy in red shorts, but, like, there was no evidence that this guy was actually there.
Right.
It wasn't until that they released that this happened that they were able to find the evidence to prove, like, oh, yeah, he actually had a rental car at that area where it took place.
Right.
He was there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's sad, man.
It's sad.
He's a goat, though. He died like a goat. He died like a goat.
He went out a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're being 100, he's responsible for one of the most banger openings ever.
Yes, dude. Yes. All the way.
Like
banger intros.
The entrance music for Yu-Gi-Oh was fucking saucy.
Every time you hear it, get your blood pumping a little bit.
Yeah, the adrenaline kicks in.
Like, you just get into it, bro. It's time to do. Like, that shit was bad,
and,
bro.
like, the way it just goes like,
yeah, that shit went hard. And it's funny because, like, I feel like the big two when Yu-Gi-Oh was out was Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. Those were the big two. And they both have such bangers for intros, but for such different reasons. Because there's, like, 8 words in Yu-Gi-Oh's entrance.
Yeah.
like, and Pokemon's a full-blown song. Hell, it's got a second verse that most people don't even know about.
Because it's a full song.
It's so good.
That's funny.
It is.
Speaking of
What a
Pokemon,
legend.
we are 2 weeks away from the new Pokemon games coming out.
On what is it going to come out on?
Switch.
You have a Switch?
Yes.
And this is the one that we're supposed to be
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer. All right.
Yep.
Oh,
Amber and
it
I
is multiplayer.
Amber and I are
Bye-bye.
already ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go buy my online subscription.
It's only like $5 for. Oh, you mean like they're in Japan?
No, I mean you have to.
You have to have
play
you have to
online.
pay to have an online plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't it cheap though? Isn't it like $5 or something?
I thought it was like 50.
Oh shit. That's the case.
I don't recall it being cheap.
I don't recall it being cheap either. I didn't pay for it, but I don't recall it being cheap.
And this is for Nintendo. You guys are talking about Nintendo
yeah,
Switch.
for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I remember I paid $5 for something then, but it was a while ago. It could have been like a retro game plan or something. I had access to old games.
Yeah, I don't know. But I know that this new Pokemon comes out 2 weeks from today.
Is it Scarlet and Violet now?
Scarlet and Violet. Yep.
Ooh.
Gen 9. We're getting new Pokemon, and it's supposed to be fully functional open world multiplayer. Drop in, drop out mechanics where your friends can just drop in and join you and roam the world playing Pokemon with you.
Man, I'm gonna buy a Nintendo Switch.
I imagine it's gonna be a thing where like the progress you make in your friend's world doesn't actually translate over to yours.
I don't know.
I hope it does. That'd be badass. Like trade with your friend and then you
So
level
here's
up
the
together.
thing.
Well,
Maybe not gym battle progress, but like what you catch has to count.
I hope that counts. What I really hope is that they don't put some kind of limit to where like you can only keep what you hold on your person when you take out.
I can't.
Like that would be
imagine. I can't.
That would be
imagine.
lame. Yeah.
That'd be really annoying.
It'd
I
be
could
a-
see it happening.
It'd be a bad
because-
mechanic.
Yeah.
My biggest question is like how it is the progress, but it's like the progress through the world, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there are gonna, as always, when there's more than one game in a generation, there are gonna be exclusives to each game. So like Amber and I have already made plans to play this. She got Violet. I'm getting Scarlet. That way we can get all the Pokemon. But what if, like, I join her world and I don't get progress in my world? So now, like, my exclusives that are in the later part of the game, I'm going to still have to work my way through to get to them.
I want to think just based on the way Pokemon's always been, like they've always let you, Back when you used to have cables connecting the Game Boy Colors or the Game Boy Advances, you used to just like trade Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's different because you're actually dropping into their world.
True.
Yeah.
But I'd hope because of the same spirit of what they go for that they.
I don't know.
That's what we want. That's what the consumer.
This is the first time
they
we're
must
ever
know.
getting real multiplayer in Pokemon.
And there's also a Nintendo Switch Pokemon and Scarlet Edition. It looks sick, man.
It does.
Woo.
But that's 2 weeks away. I'm excited. I just hope it's as good as it's been hyped up to be.
Please let us know. I'll buy it in a heartbeat if it's good.
I'll let you know. But yeah. So, why don't we answer another question?
Let's do it. Jinx.
We'll go back to the theme of music. We got another music question. Also from Murphy. Most of the time, someone's most popular song is also their best. But do you have any examples where the most popular song isn't the best song they ever put out? I have a few.
Kendrick Lamar, his most popular song is Humble, and he has an entire catalog of music better than that song.
That's facts. That's definitely facts.
Stealing my answer.
That's facts. I was going to say Michael Jackson. That's a blatant one. His most famous is definitely Thriller.
Yeah, and he does have
He's got
songs.
A shit ton of songs better than that. Eminem.
Eminem has a whole plethora. We always touch this subject.
But
can't choose one.
Like if I had to guess, I would say Eminem's most popular is probably Lose Yourself.
Let's check
it's
this
probably
theory out.
His
we
most
have the internet.
famous, but that doesn't mean it's the best.
Spotify, most popular for Eminem is Without Me, Slim Shady, and Mockingbird. Still, I can think of so many that are better. Or not better, but at least same caliber.
Mockingbird. Oof. Eminem's tough, but...
I don't know if... Is Without Me really his most popular song?
I would say Lose Yourself is.
On Spotify.
Yeah, but Spotify's limited.
Yeah.
Spotify's a very select audience. There's so many other ways to listen to music.
Yeah. I'd say Lose Yourself. Maybe My Name Is?
I would say My Name Is up there. The only reason I'm saying Lose Yourself is because of 8 Mile.
There's literally a movie.
Like, there's a movie all about that song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Which, it's a really good song.
It is, but it's not his best. It's not, I wouldn't even put Lose Yourself in his top 5. Who else? Who else has songs where their most popular is not their best song?
Post Malone.
I don't listen to a lot of Post Malone.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know a lot of his music.
Ozzy
I would
Osbourne.
believe it, but I don't know a lot of it.
Ozzy Osbourne. I'd say his most popular is probably Crazy Train.
What would you say his best is?
Ooh. Am I allowed to include Black Sabbath? Because he was the lead singer of Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I'd say you could include Black Sabbath.
I would say Iron Man, though.
Do the most. I just do a lot. Andy Mineo. So he has like the bangers are his most played on Spotify, but he has a lot of really good ones that aren't top 5, at least in Spotify.
God, you got to get out of the world of Spotify, man.
You really do. Spotify is very limited.
Brett
I like
introduced me
Spotify.
to the world of YouTube Music.
YouTube Music is... So here's the thing. I like Spotify. I do. I listen to Spotify. I have Spotify Premium. But no one uses Spotify on their computer.
But you
You can, but people don't.
So what do you guys use on your computer?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Interesting. I have the Spotify app.
Everyone uses YouTube. Some people use Spotify. Everyone that has the internet uses YouTube.
There's more variety too. The music that you can find on YouTube, it won't appear in Spotify.
You can find just about everything.
Right.
The only way, when you're gonna go for niches in terms of music, you're probably looking on like SoundCloud. Like the places that you find the niche, you're probably not finding on Spotify.
Because you find some good songs. You had sent me that song by that one guy who is part of the band or the hip hop group Coast Contra, and I'd never heard of them, and I could never see myself finding it in Spotify. They're really bad at finding new artists.
I got another answer.
Who?
Papa Roach.
Yes.
Last Resort or Scars. 1,000,000,000% is their most popular. You can pick which one.
I'd probably
Scars has to be.
I'd probably say Last Resort.
This is my last resort.
Born for Greatness is by far a better song. Mm-hmm. And so is Help. Most of their Crooked Teeth album is better than those older songs. They're just legendary. I thought of that while you were saying that. But I did think of something else while you were talking about hip-hop group and stuff like that. I'm assuming everybody heard, but just in case you didn't, did everybody hear that one of the Migos died?
Shot in a bowling alley, apparently.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yep. One of the three Migos died. He got shot in a bowling alley on a Halloween night.
In a bowling alley, man.
Yeah, of all places, a bowling alley.
What a way to go.
Like,
was it random violence or targeted violence?
I didn't see that much information. Let me see if I can see anything. Takeoff, member of the rap group Migos, shot outside of a private party in Houston. Received a call. The call was received around 2:30 in the morning, local time. Two other people, a 23-year-old man and a 24-year-old woman, were also injured in the shooting, and went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Employees told police an argument took place after the party ended when a large group of people gathered at the front door area outside of the building, which led to the shooting. At least 40 people were at the scene at the time of the shooting.
Might have been a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah, might have just got heated and somebody pulled a gun.
Yeah.
There's so many rappers going like that.
It's sad either way. And I'll say this,
Right.
I never really listened to the Migos. That still doesn't make this any less sad. You know what I mean?
You
like,
don't have to be a fan of somebody for like their death,
loss of life, and there's times where I wouldn't care. This might sound harsh, but some people kind of deserve it. I've never heard anything bad about the Migos. Their music's never really been for me, but like if this same story had come out about Tekashi 6ix9ine, I wouldn't care.
But it's the Migos, they're decent.
Because Tekashi 6ix9ine, all I've ever heard is that he's a garbage human being.
Yeah.
So like if this came out about him, I'd be like, not really surprised.
Honestly,
all accounts suggest that
I probably would have expected it to happen sooner.
Right. I would say all accounts
place.
suggest you had it coming. Yeah. But I've never heard anything negative about the Migos other than just people not liking their music.
Right.
So that makes it more sad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I heard about that. That's not good.
No, it's sad that's a problem.
It's a big problem. Over the recent years, a lot of people have died that are rappers that just happen to be either targeted or just pop shit off. No.
I don't know, man. I think part of me says like it kind of comes with the lifestyle because for some reason people think that that's the life you have to live as a rapper. You don't.
Like you don't
have to live the thug life.
Circles of people that like commit crimes and shit like that.
Right.
That's
like
not...
you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. Your personal life and who you ride with and if you bang or not does not determine whether or not I fuck with your music. Mm-hmm. Your music determines whether I fuck with your music.
But there's a big audience of people who like the culture and like the whole... And
sure.
That's why they follow him. That's why they have a following of thousands of people.
But let's keep it real. Post Malone. He's not a hard ass. He don't ride with no bangers. He's still one of the most popular out there right now. I don't listen to Posty. I respect the hell out of what he's done, though. He don't ride with fucking morons trying to act like a thug. He just looks like an idiot with all his tattoos.
And for the record, if that's how you started, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay there.
No.
When you reach that level of fame,
you do what you want.
You literally have the luxury of cutting off
anyone,
that part.
Everyone,
anyone.
Which is the whole point of this. The whole point of you stepping up, doing stuff that people in your community haven't done, is to eventually grow and not grow away from them. Well, but if that's not the scene, that's not the scene.
Look at Eminem. Not safe. Look at Eminem. We always bring him up. Look at Eminem. He's the top dog in the rap game, and people can say no, he's not. Yes, the fuck he is. Shut up. Eminem is the top dog in the rap game, and people might get mad at that because it's a white boy on top. Get over it.
He earned it. He earned it.
50 will tell you, yeah, they mad that a white boy's on top, but he the greatest. Has Eminem ever been known to be a banger? Is he out there running that game? No.
I mean, there was a time that he was a part of that life when shit was popping off, but he's moved on from that.
Right.
In fact, everyone from that stage where it was real moved on from that.
Yeah, of course. And that's okay. You can move away from
that. So real quick, just so our YouTube viewers know, you're going to pretty much for the rest of this episode see a pop-up in the bottom right corner constantly going off because I'm having USB connection issues. Luckily, our editor Brett will be able to deal with the audio that keeps going off in my ears, so you won't have to hear any of that because he uses our Audacity microphone quality. So I'm going to have to listen to this ping for the next 45 minutes, but none of you will. But every time you see this pop up in the bottom right that says display connection might be limited, just understand it's wrong.
Man, that sucks. Anyway,
that sucks. Anyways,
sounds like a rough time for you.
Here's what's really weird. You heard me that entire time. My microphone never cut out during that entire thing, did it?
No.
My microphone is in that display port.
Man.
Anywho,
it's working at 99.9% effectiveness. It's that other 0.1% that causes the pop.
The best part is they're gonna see. I'm looking at the recording right now. They're going to see the pop-up keep happening, but they can't actually read it because it's behind our episode number and the listen on Spotify sticker. So, they're going to just keep seeing this pop-up in the background in the bottom right, but not actually be able to read it.
I wonder if you hadn't said anything, would anyone have actually noticed?
Oh, I'm sure. It's very distracting to see it keep popping up. So, please try and ignore it.
Or don't.
Just stare at it.
Rave about it in the comments section.
I tried my best to avoid it. I can't do anything about it.
Yell at him repeatedly.
The only way to fix it is to unplug everything, and if I do that, it's going to severely distort the recording. So
it's all right. Brett will edit it. He'll add CGI. He'll cut and snip and add audio, and it'll sound fade away. He's the best. Brett, you got this.
Brett's gotten much better at editing than I thought.
Over the span of a week.
I'm just going to throw CGI into the podcast.
Let's just throw it on there.
Let's go ahead and get this last question out of the way real quick. Murphy asks, what's a show you think should have never been canceled And a show that you think should have been canceled sooner.
Firefly should have never been canceled.
Okay.
And realistically, Supernatural should have ended sooner.
So I agree with Supernatural should have ended sooner, but does that mean it should have been canceled?
Maybe not canceled. Like it. Yeah, I guess it wasn't canceled.
I was going to say The Flash. The Flash should have been canceled a while ago.
Do you like The Flash? Did you like The Flash?
I liked it for the first 5 seasons. But it's just progressively gotten more and more annoying, and I'm very much tired of how the power of love solves everything.
I also steadily stopped hearing about people actually watching the show.
Right, because it got bad.
So I was like, I had this thought a while ago, like where are they getting the views that kept the show going?
Yep. Or Batwoman. Batwoman should have been canceled after its first season.
I don't know. I never watched Batwoman.
There's a reason for that.
Have you guys seen Sense8 on Netflix?
No.
Really?
Sensei?
Sense8. So
Sense8.
Yeah.
I saw the first season. I wasn't particularly impressed.
I liked it. I really liked it.
Not necessarily like the idea wasn't great, but like
it might not be your cup of tea. I loved it.
I didn't really enjoy the acting that well. Like
I loved it. I just like the cultural aspect, like the way they were able to go into different. Anyways, that was canceled. 2 seasons out. I feel like they should have at least given it one more season to actually close it out because it wasn't really fleshed out well. At least give me the last fucking season, man.
So that's
at least
my
give
other
it to
thing.
me.
I think that there's a lot of shows that got canceled, and they should have just gotten one more season to finish it.
Yeah. I think the problem is that a lot of these companies, the way they contract out these shows is to make sure that they're serialized. So that it's like, hey, there's going to be a couple seasons. Well, what if there's not? Like, can you just make it like before, season 1 used to be an entire like theme, and then the season 2 would be, okay, let's do a different aspect of this. Let's do a different part. Now it seems like it's more so we're going to make sure to divide this main story into 17 little pieces. And then when it doesn't work out, they cancel stuff. And it's like, come on.
And it's frustrating that way,
Yeah.
but it also makes sense because
money.
let's say, well, not even money, but let's say you watched season 1. You were on the fence about it. If it ended definitively, you might not come back for season 2. If it ended with a cliffhanger and you were on the fence, you're going to come back for season 2 to finish deciding which side of the fence you're on.
We're in the short memory span generation. Of course, they have to make it that way.
So I agree with you in the idea that season 1 should be a story, and for the most part, that story is complete. And then there should be something that segues into the potential of the next season.
Right. A cliffhanger.
That way you have a reason to, I want to come back because I want to know what happened.
I agree with that.
But at the same time, the story that they've been telling you did in fact complete. And that's something I do feel like has been taken away a lot.
The other thing is that a lot of shows can get away with it because they sign initial contracts for 2 seasons. So Rick and Morty had 1 season and then got renewed for 7.
And I mean, that's something else about the cancellation is like it being canceled. A lot of times that just terminates the contract.
Right.
Like just because like they had intentions like, oh, hey, we're supposed to be doing 3 seasons of a show.
Mm-hmm.
First season goes and they didn't get the response that they wanted and they cancel it.
A good example of that would be The Mist.
The TV show?
I liked it. I liked The Mist.
I never saw it. Was it good?
Never saw it.
I thought it was great.
thought. I didn't know how you would elongate such a
As
such
a
an
Stephen
event.
King fan, I thought it was great.
That's great. I need to
So
watch
here's
it.
the thing. People always say, like, oh, I watched a movie. How could I possibly turn this into a longer TV show? Like you just
Exactly.
said.
Me.
You got to keep in mind, that 2.5 hour movie took from a 600-page book.
Ah. It was a Stephen King book. You're right.
Yes,
that's what it was based on.
I read it.
Honestly,
You read the entire book.
Yes, three
most
times.
of Stephen King's stuff should probably be done in episodic format. I
Or
there
multiple
are even
movies.
yeah, that were done like that, where
They had
They
Mr.
came
Mercedes
out-
like that.
as episodes.
I think that was one of the shows. Mr. Mercedes came out based on a book, I think, of him, Stephen King.
Yes.
Yeah. It was pretty good. I got a little bit into it. Did you watch it?
Yeah,
Good?
it was fine.
Eh.
Another show that got canceled recently that I didn't want to get canceled was Fate.
Never seen it.
Do you guys remember when we were younger? I doubt any of us watched it, but we should probably remember it. The Winx Saga show with all the fairies.
I'm familiar with what you're talking about. It's
Fate-
the reason I
Fate-
never watched the Fate show.
Fate got a live action adaptation of the Winx Saga. But it made it more serious, and it wasn't like just a dumb fairy show.
It was like a brooding teenager show.
Kinda, yeah. But it was actually really good, and it got 2 seasons, and then it just got canceled, and I'm upset about it because I actually liked it. But I do think that shows universal rule, because every show I can think of that I feel like it went too long, shows shouldn't go past 5 seasons.
I kind of agree, because there's some shows I was like, dude, come on. We're on the 8th season of Blacklist, and we're watching Blacklist on Netflix, me and Amanda. We're like on season 3 of the show, and I'm like, you've already like fully fleshed out the entire premise of the show. How are you going to add on basically 4 or 5 more seasons of this?
Right. I mean,
for
Supernatural.
the record, they did, like, the Blacklist, they kind of did relatively successfully.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're still watching it.
But like Supernatural was supposed to end after 5. They brought it back. Buffy was supposed to end at 5. They brought it back. Like 5 seems to be the magic number. This is where we should stop the show. Stranger Things, stopping after 5. Now, if you ask me,
When did
4 is
Dexter
the only
end?
season they've actually had that was really good. I think
Dexter's
1, 2,
a
and
show.
2 are kinda ass.
Dexter's a show they should have ended earlier than they did. They should have canceled it earlier than they did. I don't know what season, but Dexter.
Dexter was fine until the ending.
Exactly. So
it-
scrap the entire
But
season.
does a bad ending mean it should have been canceled sooner?
It was that bad, in my opinion.
No,
it was
no.
that bad.
It means the
No,
ending
it-
should have been written better.
They should have just done the ending better. I mean, the ending was so bad that they got greenlit to make a new series about Dexter.
Have you guys seen that?
No.
I haven't seen it yet.
Really good.
Kind of waiting
Recommend
for
it.
it to finish, honestly.
Me too.
Because I will binge the fuck out of it, which
Well, 'cause-
doesn't help the ratings,
'cause
like people like me.
Because
But
the other thing is, if a bad ending to a show means it should have been canceled sooner, we can say that for a lot of shows. Lost, a prime example, had a horrid
good one.
ending.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think a bad ending means the show should have been canceled sooner. I think it means the writer should have ended it better. Because up until the ending of Dexter, the last 3 episodes of Dexter are the worst. But
I
up
agree.
until that, it's a great show.
even within the season, they're ending.
Yeah,
the show.
even the
It was
garbage
good.
ending season was good up until the last 3 episodes.
We can agree to disagree there.
You didn't like the entire last season?
It's just the ending ruins it for me.
No, I
redeemed
agree. The
itself.
ending's horrible.
It
But
redeemed
when you-
itself with the new spin-off show.
But when you're watching, before you get to those last 3 episodes, when you were watching Dexter, it was solid, right?
Yeah, of course.
Which means the ending was bad. If you take out the ending and you put a good ending in it,
Hold
solid.
on. So let's say it like this. Let me rephrase it and see if it changes your answer, Salo. Do you think we should have gotten a different ending, or do you think the ending should have been however the season before ended?
Different ending.
Then it shouldn't have been canceled. It should have been written better.
Should have been written.
Because if
better.
it was canceled, it would have ended the way season 7 ended.
Yeah, it like the way it should have been canceled. Like if it should have been canceled, it means the entirety of that season
shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened. Like nothing about it was good.
So the last 3 episodes should have been canceled. That is all.
They should have been rewritten.
Yes.
Okay. I think we've answered that question fairly thoroughly.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I was scrolling through TikTok as I do, and saw a snippet of another podcast that I do like because these guys are hysterical. And I think you guys have probably seen them. Brett, I know, I'm almost confident you have because I think we had a conversation about the guy that likes the cucumber Gatorade and saves half of it for later. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, maybe it wasn't you then. Maybe it was Quinn. I don't know. But these guys are hysterical, and there's one guy that's very logical about everything, and then the other guy, who's probably the more fun of the two, kind of dumb with everything. And he's hysterical. And like a while ago, they did a thing about how his favorite flavor of Gatorade is the cucumber Gatorade, which is disgusting. And he'll only drink half of it so that he can save the other half so that he can just smell it.
Interesting.
And,
yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And recently they did an episode on Halloween, and they're in their Halloween costumes, and dude was like, man, this shit's really itchy. Who decided that we should wear these without clothes underneath? And the other guy just went, what? You made that decision. So my question for you gentlemen is, when you wear a Halloween costume, do you wear clothes underneath?
Yes. Absolutely.
I think it like depends on the costume. Like what the costume's made of. If it's just like one of those thin like layers that you put over yourself, I got clothes on underneath.
What about a skin morph?
If like
one of those
the clothes
suits?
I'm wearing are a part of the costume, that's different.
Right. His reasoning.
But I'm telling you, I'm not raw dogging a costume.
His reasoning was, I didn't know I was supposed to wear clothes because it came with pants and a belt.
That's ridiculous.
And so other homie went, if I took this off right now, I could go outside. If you took that off right now, you'd go to jail. He was like, the Gap has pants and belts. You go in there butterball naked.
That's funny.
It was so ridiculous, bro. Anyway, so I was just curious.
Speaking of podcasts, it's a podcast I've never seen before, but it was something I was scrolling like through YouTube Shorts, and like I saw these guys talking about this this Twitter post that came out. It was like a mugshot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was this person in a cow costume. The headline is, "Man pretends to be a cow in milking competition, gets jacked off for hours." So, the information that went with it was this man named Carl Twinley in Texas was arrested for public indecency and masturbation by deception. He was in this 4-H milking competition, and Carl was milked by a total of 13 contestants before his ruse was uncovered.
I don't understand. How does one mistakenly do that?
Right, and that's what that little episode is over. Like, how does that make any sense? How do you mistake that for? How do 13 people miss that? Well, I did some research. It's fake.
Okay,
makes sense.
And like the picture itself, it's not even a man. It's actually a woman's mugshot from like 2008, dressed up as a cow. She was dressed up as a cow for some Halloween thing, and she got arrested for public intoxication or something, like some indecency or something like that. But like,
that's terrifying.
First shot, like definitely think it's a man in a fucking. I think it's a man in a cow costume. Someone just made it. Like, someone saw the picture, they put a story together, posted on Twitter.
Fake news.
That's how fake news gets spread. Yeah.
Well, talking about that, they Elon Musk's, and this is going to make sense in a second. Elon Musk bought out Twitter,
right?
And he's a big advocate of letting the crazies say stuff that's not real, just because it's the freedom of right. And I'm not going to dive into that part, but something started trending on Twitter because they're just trying to fuck with him. Trump is dead, so the hashtag has been going crazy, and like all these comedians and people started picking it up and just started retweeting it as a form of kind of like mocking Elon Musk because he's this big, like, we're not going to take anything down, we're not going to verify anything now. So that just reminded me of what you were saying. That also is trending on Twitter right now. He's okay, by the way.
Elon Musk is going to be the reason a lot of people leave Twitter.
A lot of people are leaving it. I 100% believe it.
Well, he decided that he wanted to make this new thing where... So they're adding, like, this ability where you can get, like, a subscription to Twitter. So that you can, like, edit your tweets instead of having to delete them and send a new one and stuff like that. And that's fine. If it's a subscription-based thing, it's a choice, whatever, sure. I don't give a shit. The problem is, apparently, his plan is to make everybody that is a verified Twitter user with the blue check mark, make it mandatory for them to get the subscription.
In order to keep their blue check.
Right. So a lot of people are just like, fuck Twitter.
And from my understanding, I don't know if I misread it, but they're also insinuating that if you buy this plan, you'll get a blue check mark.
I do, from what I understand, that is the insinuation, but I doubt it.
That's what they're insinuating. I'm like, bro, what? Then I mean, that only makes sense. Otherwise, their business model is like, what? Target all the celebrities and popular people? I think they're... Either way, it's a stupid idea. Have money. They even fired a lot of people at Twitter.
I mean, that's going to get rid of, like if they do a thing where you pay it and you get a blue check mark.
It gets rid of the point of the blue check mark.
What's the whole point?
Yeah, because... Yeah, there's no real verification.
I mean, I'll say this. The blue check mark instantly makes people more inclined to follow you. I will very quickly get that subscription.
I will. But then it's like, once it becomes a cultural thing, it's like, oh, you got $7 too? You pay Twitter every month for $7? Okay.
If $7 a month means an extra 1,000 followers a month, you're damn right I do.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Hey man, I just having the blue check mark. People, there's a lot of scams going around in a lot of programs where people, if you pay them like a couple grand, they'll go through the trouble of making fake articles about you, making you seem like a celebrity of a person of importance, just so you can be verified on Instagram and Twitter. Like thousands of dollars under the table type stuff. Crazy.
So just as a real quick, as another notation, because people are going to see that it happened, and we're not just going to ignore it. I don't know what's happening with my computer right now, but my computer itself is no longer showing its monitor, so everything transferred to this monitor. So we had a brief moment where everybody just got the infinite gaze into OBS. And I just wanted to address it so that people don't think that they're crazy when they saw it happen.
Don't listen to him. You're crazy.
Yeah, homie, you need a new computer.
I'm aware. I don't know why. So here's the thing. I use a laptop, and the laptop is right here. My second monitor is here. And the laptop was the screen I had the OBS on so that I could look towards the camera while looking at you guys. Mm-hmm. For some reason, my laptop monitor has shut off. And everything moved to the alternate monitor. The laptop is still running, or I wouldn't be here talking.
Did you wiggle the mouse?
Nothing.
I'm just curious.
Oh, I can't leave this monitor anymore. This is the only monitor.
Could it be due to that USB issue you're having?
I don't know, but you know what's great? The USB issue stopped.
Damn it. One thing is fixed, another just breaks.
So right now I have Discord over top of OBS, So if the alignment looks funny, I don't know. My sincerest apologies to everybody. I can't see my recording anymore. But I did just want to address it. We haven't stopped talking since it happened. So I just wanted to take a brief moment. You are not crazy when you saw the infinite abyss that was OBS.
You are crazy.
And hopefully the recording still looks good.
Hopefully.
If it doesn't, I highly recommend you use this episode on Spotify.
If it doesn't, yep.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and take us into something else.
Ooh, what you got? What you got? What you got?
California does weird things. Right? we can agree.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Fuck those
we
guys.
can agree, right?
What?
What? So
I'm kidding.
during my vacation, I went to Michigan. My mom came, visited me while I was in Michigan. And so she lives in California, and we started talking about California. And something that came up was gas-powered vehicles are going to become illegal.
That's a strong statement to say.
I was like, what? What do you mean by that? And they're like, yeah, no, like they're not going to be able to buy gas-powered vehicles anymore. Everything's moving to electric. So that prompted me to look some things up. So there has been some movement in that direction.
Okay.
They passed a bill, and in that bill there is a sales requirement that will be enforced, and that is that eventually 2035, not any time right now, but 2035, they're going to be moving to a zero emission vehicle sales requirement, where no vehicles can be sold unless they are basically completely electric for the most part.
That makes sense. So they're going to start limiting the type of cars that are sold eventually.
Yes. So like that's what their plan is they're getting with like the company, the sales companies and everything in California specifically. Mm-hmm. And slowly throughout the next few years, they're going to transition their lot of vehicles to either, low emission vehicles or zero emission vehicles until they're all zero emission vehicles. And that's the only thing that can be sold. The idea with that is that eventually no one in California will be driving a gas-powered vehicle.
That makes a lot more sense.
It makes a lot more sense that it's not just happening. Still raises concerns, though. And that concern being... can California actually maintain that as a state, being completely electric? So what's been going on in California, like the past few years, is consistent rolling blackouts.
Right.
California has the second highest consumption of energy in America. Really? And they're having blackouts on a regular basis.
Oh, hey, my computer's back.
Nice. That's dope.
It's the opposite of a blackout.
Yeah. Well, he had his blackout. It's back. Maybe it'll be rolling like these. So just in 2019, over 25,000 blackouts were recorded in California. Legit blackouts. Like in from 2018, there was a little over a 50% increase of the amount of people affected by blackouts. So this has become the conversation, right? Outside of the headline of, no more gas vehicles in California, like the actual nitty-gritty conversation is, can California actually sustain something like that? Where you force it to where people have to, use these electrically charged vehicles, but they're already sending mass texts to their to the residents of California to limit the amount of electricity they use because of the rolling blackouts.
So there's only one way that I can see it being feasible.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to like issue a generator with each car
to guarantee that you could start it.
Well, I don't know. I think you're right because like California's big, and they do experience a lot of fires as well on top of the blackouts. I don't know. I think the way they're probably going to go about it is they're going to make it illegal to sell gas chugging vehicles, but mostly everybody's just going to just purchase, resell it and not buy it off of a dealer or rebuy it off of like a used car salesperson. I'd like to believe, and I don't know what it's referencing, but I'd like to believe that they're saying they're going to start enforcing that real dealerships only sell electric cars, but there's going to be a huge underground market for gas. Because I know gas is not going to go away anytime soon. You know?
Well, so here's the thing. In theory, if you... Here's what could happen. It's not practical, but I suppose it's possible. It's not even plausible. You could, if the goal is, let's say 10 years from now, no more gas cars in California. State mandated. Your gas cars, get rid of them. That means they also wouldn't need gas stations. You could then replace gas stations with charging stations, so to speak, that have 2 employees at it all the time that are there to drive you home after you go plug in your car. And that building has backup generators to keep the building functional in the event of a rolling blackout. And then you would call the location and say, I need, or the location would call you when your car is ready for a pickup. And they would come pick you up and bring you to your car. That would be the only feasible way.
So do gas stations not get affected by rolling? Well, I see your point. Your whole point is like, how do you even start the car if it doesn't even have gas or electric energy?
Well, so the thing is, you have to charge it.
Right.
The car has to be charged. It doesn't have to be charged every time you use it. It has a battery just like anything else, but you'd have to charge said battery.
So maybe installing a new system only in California where there's a backup system within the car only for emergencies, and if it's a registered blackout, some sort of way you can enable this system that'll give you like at least a day's worth.
Well, that's why I'm saying they would have to either issue or create charging stations. They'd have to issue generators. And I'm talking portable generators that you are not reliant on the electricity that runs into your house. The type of generator that turns on a hospital when the power goes out. Those kind of things. Yeah, they'd have to issue them to people or make a charging station.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, most of these generators are gas operated.
For the most part.
So,
but that would still limit it. That would still significantly limit it because you would only need to use it in the event of a blackout. That would still significantly reduce the amount of gas consumption.
Now, would this become a thing where you might, would it be reasonable to expect the government to provide you with a vehicle?
In the event of...
if you, in the event that you're switching to where, I can't go to the gas station and get gas for my only car that I have for my family... Is the government going to provide me with a vehicle, or are they going to trade in my vehicle for a electric car?
That's why I said I would assume you have 10 years to transition into this policy.
Mm-hmm.
Start saving. Trade in your car when you've saved up enough. Trade in for a reduced price. Get a new car. There's no earth they would issue vehicles. They just wouldn't. Now, issuing a generator with the vehicle, that I could see.
I don't know. I'm also thinking in the mindset of let's say Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
The space between people's homes and gas stations is vastly different than if you're in Central Cal. It's rural area. there's mountains and so many things that could stop you from getting to a electric gas station.
I think the only feasible way would be for them to actually have infrastructure to start building it if they don't have it already. Because by the time that law reaches the time where it's going to be like, okay, we're going to cut it off, I'd expect that by that point they'd have infrastructure in place. Like, I mean, you have to do something, right?
So
you would expect it. You would think, like, if they are coming up with this plan, that they're going to make it to where either gas stations still exist to where, like, if you need gas, you can still acquire it. Or they're going to provide it to where, like, it doesn't matter where you live, you can get to one of these stations.
Well, so here's the thing. You got to keep this in mind, Brett. When it comes to the idea of living far away.
Sorry.
I don't know. What
I'm having audio issues. Please ignore that.
Okay.
All right.
You're
Are you referring to the fact that, like, they're already far away from a gas station
Yes.
to begin with? So, well, that's what I was kind of referring to is, like, they can still stockpile gas that they need in the situation that they're too far away.
They could,
from,
but
like, a gas station.
people don't typically do that.
People that live that far away do.
I mean, I used to live far from a gas station. We would just fill up while we were in town.
I get that.
Like, it's just, you just have to be responsible. Don't ride your car to eat. People shouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, you probably should never ride your car to eat. You never know what's going to happen.
Right. People shouldn't.
You might.
Like, the people that are, like, comfortable with going home, passing a gas station on the way home, and their car's at less than a quarter tank, you guys are crazy. Fill up. What if you need to go to the hospital tonight? You gonna stop at the gas station on the way?
They say you should never have it more than less than halfway. You can always just refill it, and that's what's best for, like, the gas tank or something. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've always heard.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
But the people that are just comfortable with their car sitting in their driveway at less than a quarter tank, you guys are crazy. I'd be having an anxiety attack. Like, what if something happens and I gotta go right now, and I don't have enough gas to get there?
I gotta go.
Just fill up. People that have the mindset of I'll fill up tomorrow on the way to work instead of I'll fill up tonight on the way home from work, I don't understand that mentality.
It's a luxury of living in the civilized, not civilized, but, like, the luxury of being around so much freaking gas stations is what it is.
But it's still just, I don't know. It's like the idea of procrastination to umpteenth degree. Why not just get gas on the way home? I've never understood that.
Yeah, no. I like to have mine full. Just in case. You never know.
Like, in case of an emergency. My thought process is also, so here's another thing, and people never think about this because everybody just says it never would happen to me. What if your gas station is out of gas?
The one gas station.
Yeah, I think people learned that recently with COVID.
Yes.
There was a not even just COVID. There was that whole was it COVID that caused that gas crisis?
It was something. I remember that.
It caused one, yeah. So, as an example, the town I live in has 2 gas stations. Soon to be 3, but as of right now, 2. I decided I'm going to put gas in the tank before I go home. That way, it's got a full tank for tomorrow. I went to the gas station I always go to. There was no gas. I'm like, I've never actually had that happen before. All right, whatever. I go to the other gas station. They're not accepting card.
Like,
I don't
only
carry
cash?
So I had to go somewhere else to get gas. If I had waited until tomorrow, I wouldn't have known that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, then I'm planning on getting gas in the morning and then moving on. I had to go somewhere else to get gas. Like, that's why I don't understand people that just say, I'll just do it tomorrow. Why not do it now?
I think it's just laziness. Like right now, I live away. I live like walking distance to like 3 gas stations. You know.
Well, there's also the you just got home and then you look down and you're like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's different.
I'm low on gas.
That's different.
If you have the mentality
if you missed
of
it,
like,
you missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you look at it and you're like,
nah,
get gas now. And, nah, fuck it, I'll get it tomorrow. You're a psycho. If you missed it, you missed it. That's genuine. I can't tell you how many times I've pulled into my garage and been like, how did I get here? Because I just blank when I'm driving. That happens. I'll give you that. You go into auto drive. I'll give you autopilot. You didn't notice you were almost out of gas. That shit happens. But if you, leaving work, look at your gas tank and you're like, I got 14 miles. Home's 10? Home's 10 miles. That leaves me with 4. I'll get to the gas station in the morning with 2. No! Hell no. If you have to do math to make sure you have enough gas, go get gas.
So, like,
I know you've done it. I know you have.
You're talking about like the cars that, you know, like they actually
tell
show
you
like
how much you got left.
Hey, you have 50 miles worth of gas. I never went below 50 miles worth of gas.
Oh man,
on purpose.
Oh man, ooh wee.
like I need to be able to at least go 50 miles
in case of an emergency.
If I need to. Now, like, realistically, most of my problems can be solved within
50.
Yeah, probably can be solved within 10.
But just in case, the alarm goes off and people have decided to send nukes our way, and you got to get to driving. Fuck, I got to fill up the tank.
Imagine the one guy on empty wakes up to CNN. Breaking news, there's been a catastrophic attack in Virginia and North Carolina. Please report to the nearest shelter.
I hope my neighbors got gas.
You have 30 minutes.
You wake up late.
You have 30 minutes to get at least 15 miles away, and you're like, I only got 2 miles in the tank.
Everybody else gone, and you fudged.
Look, I'm not even kidding. I know people that will drive. They have that thing that says you've got this many miles left, and they will tell me. I'll be like, yo, that shit says you only got 10 miles left. And they're like, oh, I know that I got 10 more when it hits 0. Why do you know that?
I've hit 0 one time, and I've never gone back. Anytime I get near half the gas tank, I'm like, oh. I remember that time where I would hit 0 and I was this close to the gas station, and I'm like, what's going to happen to me? What's going to go on with it? I was looking for the police. I don't even know why I was looking for the police, but I'm like, they're going to know I'm at 0. The people at the gas station are going to know.
In their right mind has the fucking balls to say, today's the day I find out how far past 0 I can go.
That's like... That's like you're on a road trip and you have the worst luck, right? Like you reach half a tank, and let's say you're driving through Texas.
Oh, and then it's just open road for 300 miles.
and yeah, like you're sitting there, you're looking at your phone, and it's like, oh, there's a gas station coming up. You know, I can just make it 20 miles, hit the gas station. You go up there, all of a sudden closed. You're like, all right, well, there's another one. And you just keep hitting it, and there's always some reason that you can't get to the gas station.
And that's not your fault. But I've been in the car with somebody who said, I got 10 past 0. Now with me in the car, you don't.
Please, pull up to the side of the road. I don't want to be driving with you.
Not me in the car. Mm-mm. You got 10 seconds to get in a goddamn gas station.
Do we have any other questions?
Questions? No. I do have other topics, but we don't have any more questions for this episode.
Okay. I was just curious before we brush past them.
No, yeah. No, we don't have any more questions.
Good checking. Points for you this time.
That sounded so condescending. So, real quick, rumor leaks suggest that John Bernthal will be returning as the Punisher.
Yeah, I think that's been like the expectation.
I'd be down. I liked him as the Punisher.
He's a good Punisher. Yeah. He's a good Punisher. He fits the role. He looks like a Punisher.
The show wasn't great, but that was of no fault of him. The first season was good. The second season was...
I enjoyed the show.
The second season was it wasn't the worst show that Marvel's done. Iron Fist.
Yeah, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist was rough, bro.
It was so bad.
But yeah, so I just thought I'd bring that up. So I got a cool story that I heard about. I figured I'd tell you guys. So years ago, WrestleMania 29. This is like almost 10 years ago. A wrestler named Brodus Clay. Most people won't remember who that is, and that's fine. He was lower card. But he was a funny dude. He big guy, kind of chunky, but also strong. He had this really dumb gimmick called the Funkasaurus, where he would just dance, and it was dumb, but it was his job. It is what it is. That's not what we're talking about. WrestleMania 29, he was supposed to have his first WrestleMania match, and it got scrapped during WrestleMania because somebody else's match went over its allotted time, and he didn't have time to go out there and have his match before the main event, which was John Cena versus The Rock. So he was really bummed because he's not going to get his WrestleMania moment now. And John Cena just, I guess because John Cena tried to give back to people, John Cena just went about to go out for his WrestleMania main event that they've been building to for a year. Getting ready to go out the curtain, and he just goes, I have to go to the bathroom. And everybody's just like, what? And he just looks at Brodus Clay, and he's like, how long does it take me to go to the bathroom? 5, 6 minutes? And Brodus Clay was like, I can get it done in 6 minutes. And John Cena just walked out of Gorilla. Just walked away. And so Brodus Clay got to go out there and at least do a dance for everybody and have a WrestleMania moment because John Cena pretended to have to go take a shit.
That's great.
How amazing is that? I found that out. Brodus Clay had an interview and he's like, I will never have a bad thing to say about John Cena.
John Cena is one of the most decent human beings I've heard about.
Everything I've heard suggests he really is a good guy.
I haven't heard anything bad.
Never. I've heard he's hard to work with because at least in wrestling, because he's the one that's trusted, so he's pretty much in charge of the whole match. So I've heard he can be hard to work with for guys that are used to calling their own matches. Mm-hmm. But that's not him being like a pain, it's just how WWE structured it.
Yeah.
And like when he's in the ring with guys that he trusts, from what I understand, he lets them call it. Apparently his first match was CM Punk. He let CM Punk, he was like, all right, you're calling it. And CM Punk was like, what? Okay.
like he lets them call if he's going to win or not, or if they're going to win or not?
No, so the winners determine. Calling a match is basically, while the match is going on, you're calling out moments that you're about to do. So like you'll be like if you and I were in a match and I was doing the call outs, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to suplex you. Once I do, I'm going to go for a pin, kick out on 2. But you say these things real quiet so no one knows. You do it while you're in like a headlock so that people can't see your mouth. Mm-hmm. And you kind of whisper them to one another. And Cena's the guy that's always in charge.
If you there's like compilation videos
you
of
can
like
hear
really bad, where like people are missing their cues
and people just start yelling.
Have one of the wrestler just like
focus,
hit me, hit me, and they're just like, what? Oh, right. Yeah, I'm supposed to hit you.
One of my favorites, where you could hear something you weren't supposed to. WrestleMania 31, Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank to become the WWE champion. And he did it during a match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And it's well known that him and Roman in real life are very close friends. They got called up to the main roster together. They wrestled as a tag team for a long time. Close friends. In the story, Seth turned on Roman. So as far as everyone knew, they weren't friends anymore. Unless you know that wrestling is scripted. And Rollins hit Roman with his finisher and went to pin him. And as he was pinning him, he kind of like buried his head into Roman's chest so you couldn't see him talk. And you can hear him saying, thank you so much. Because he because this was huge for Rollins to get his first world championship, pinning one of his best friends. So you can actually hear him audibly saying, "Thank you so much" to Roman. And it's like, it's just a really cool moment where you realize, like, these guys are human. Like, they have real emotion, and these moments mean something to them. It's crazy.
That's awesome, dude.
But yeah, like, that story with Brodus Clay just being, like, John Cena just going, "I have to go to the bathroom. How long does it normally take for me to go to the bathroom? 6 minutes? And he just walked away.
That's great. John Cena's great.
I have to imagine Vince McMahon was sitting there like, where the fuck is he going?
Get him back in here.
So, like, that, the whole, like, being human thing, you know? Like, I actually have something just in regards to that.
Okay.
Trevor Noah, right? You guys.
Fucking hysterical.
I love Trevor Noah.
I love Trevor Noah.
I hate that he's leaving.
He does.
I don't want your sympathy.
It's probably one of my favorite things that he does. He does these behind the scene things where he's talking to the audience.
Yes, I don't want your sympathy. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want your sympathy.
It's one of the greatest.
So he started talking to his audience about a situation that's been happening that I knew nothing about it. It has to do with Lizzo. I don't follow Lizzo at all.
No,
me either.
Just not the kind of music I listen to. But she had a song recently that kind of blew up called Girls. And in it, she uses the word spaz. Like, you're spazzing out about something.
Okay.
So apparently in, like, the UK, Australia, they don't use the word spaz like that. They use it as a term to describe someone who's disabled.
Like a
Yeah. So reason stands, she probably didn't know that.
Right.
I definitely didn't know that. Most Americans don't know that. We use the word in terms of how we use the word. And so someone posted on Twitter saying, like, hey, you know, this is how it means where I come from, and, you know, they described their feelings about it, and Trevor was explaining all this to everybody. And what Lizzo did was she took that and she went and changed her lyric. And then she came out and, you know, she's just like, hey, I didn't mean to offend anybody. And she changed her lyric.
Okay.
You know.
I respect that.
And he's talking about it the way I feel about it, the way it seems like you guys feel about it. Good job. Hey, shit. Like, you know, that's what everyone's been kind of like trying to push onto people is like, hey, you do something bad, try to take ownership of it and fix it. Now, in my mind, I don't think she actually did anything bad.
No, but she still found
it wasn't in a derogatory context.
No.
But she still sympathized with it and tried to fix it.
Not a lot of people do that.
Person.
Yeah.
No. That was really cool. Now, what he went on to tell me was not cool, and was that after she did that, people are still shitting on her for it.
Cause she
like there's a large group of people going on social media and shitting on Lizzo for using the word.
Oh, nah.
Like, how could you? I'm so disappointed in you.
She didn't know.
Like, most people didn't know until after she changed her lyric.
So
most people found out, got mad, but it's already changed.
Yeah, they found out and then wanted something to be mad at.
Oh,
and
that's
they wanted
the internet.
something to just be, you know, in uproar about. But she literally did what the populace,
would have wanted her to do.
The woke populace has been expecting people to do.
She recognized it, changed it, and then said sorry.
And she's still the bad guy.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's fucked.
Still the bad guy.
The internet likes to get mad. I don't pay them no mind.
It kind of reminds me. So, like, it's the whole thing of, like, you know, other places having different meanings for things. So I found out watching a content creator that I like, the term Mick in Ireland, saying somebody is a Mick is the same thing as calling them poor or uneducated. So they don't pronounce McDonald's. They pronounce it McDonald's.
That's funny.
I found that out, and I'm like, wait, what? Because I kept hearing him say McDonald's. I'm like, I wonder why he says it like that. And then one day, one of the creators I like, one of the other creators I like, went to Ireland to visit him, and he was like, "We should go to McDonald's," and he's like, "You can't say that here. Like, you will definitely get in trouble."
Say McDonald's.
So like, I never knew that, but like, does that make us bad guys for calling it McDonald's? No.
Cultural differences.
Am I ever gonna call it McDonald's? Hell no.
No.
There's no A.
Yeah. No, and that's what
my favorite
that's what
part.
A lot of people
though,
don't get is like intent is very important.
My favorite part though is like you have like you have context for like this one. So like the Lizzo one, like there's no context. She didn't know. It is what it is. She changed it, but there was no like changing the definition of the word in that moment to those people.
Right.
With McDonald's, it's not calling someone a Mick. It's McDonald's.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it's all one word.
Otherwise, right? It's one word, and the reason I say that is important is because Irish UFC fighter Conor McGregor pronounces his name Conor McGregor, not
Conor
McGregor.
McBranner.
McGregor.
That's funny.
I don't think he gives a fuck. MC is not the same as MICK.
I wonder if there's like some history to that though.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like
maybe they put Mick in
last
front of
names-
poor people's names.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like because last names were meant to like really
Identify.
describe you as a person. You know, like
Maybe.
Smith was a blacksmith.
Maybe. I could see that.
He's being a McGregor is like being like
The dumbest of the
potentially
Gregors.
Let's see.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that either.
I didn't. I was just filling in the blanks. I was playing ad lib.
I didn't say that.
Don't put this on me.
Have you
So-
seen McGregor? McGregor's jacked.
So listen, the derogatory term Mick actually comes from the fact that Irish names commonly had MC. So it's not the other way around. MC wasn't used as a label. The label originated the term.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the term also rhymes with it. It's what the rhyming term is derived from, the disrespectful term towards Hispanic people that I am not going to say. That rhymes with it.
Yeah.
That word came from Mick.
Really? That's funny. I'm not gonna say it.
Interesting.
I mean, you're the only one that could.
Of the group,
You're the only one that can.
The only one who can.
Alas.
I could say Mick. I'm Irish.
Fair.
I'm very Irish. I can say that one. You can say the SP one. And Brett can say the M word. We all have words we're allowed to say here.
Yes.
Like, I'm the only one here that's allowed to say, "You can't do that, officer." Because they're just going to think I'm an entitled white man.
But if I say that,
You're getting arrested.
get the helicopters.
I think it depends on the officer.
Somebody threw the Granada.
That's probably true. Oh my god. So real quick, I got one more thing I wanted to talk about. I can't remember if I've brought it up or not. I might have brought it up last episode and I just can't remember. But I don't know if you guys heard. Salo might have. Did you guys hear about this giant ancient sinkhole in China?
No.
All right, so Salo, I didn't tell you. Okay, fantastic.
Are you talking about the
ancient forest?
In the mountains? Yeah, like in the mountains of China.
Yes.
Yeah. So like underneath,
there's a sinkhole.
There's one big one.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one big one everyone can see, and you could like put a city underneath.
Yes,
right?
so
it's
it's
huge.
an ancient giant forest, and apparently it's very reminiscent to like the whole place where King Kong is from and Godzilla is from, like the Hollow Earth thing.
Journey to the Center of the Planet type vibes.
Like it's very similar. The only difference is we haven't found any kaiju yet.
Or
Here's
dinosaurs?
my thing. We have no reason to go in this ancient forest. Stay the fuck out. Agreed?
Agreed.
Nothing good comes from this.
You awaken an evil spirit or some dinosaur. No.
This year we've already had ancient
The rock that
Japanese
broke
Japanese demons being released from a rock. The last thing we need to do.
I was hoping we wouldn't talk about that now that I'm here. If we could just stop talking
Look,
about
the kitsune is there. You
Dude,
deal with it.
You're there. It's there.
We don't need to go in this ancient forest where King Kong and Godzilla are fucking beating the shit out of each other.
Hell no.
Stay out.
It's a little late for that. People go there often now.
So dumb.
So just for a visual representation for you, Salo, like you have the giant sinkhole, and once you enter, it's like the entire mountain range is hollow, just completely hollowed out.
That's crazy.
Because everything just sunk into itself. And then it went further and deeper. And then it created all these different caverns that go further and further and further. And like they have not mapped out the entire sinkhole.
The biggest difference between what you would normally think of with this and what it is normally you'd think, oh, it's just like a giant, massive cave.
Yeah.
There's fucking vegetation.
Yeah.
Like, there's a full-blown forest with trees and shit that don't get sunlight.
That's interesting. I would not go in there.
No! Hell no.
That's the beginning of a movie.
There is a box in there somewhere, and if you touch it, bad things happen.
This man said they hid Pandora's box in China.
Would you be surprised?
That's where I would hide it.
Oh, man.
Would you be surprised?
That shit's crazy, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there.
Fully thriving.
And so, like, there are parts of the mountain where, like, if you're walking, you'll just randomly just fall straight through. Because everything underneath
is hollow.
Hollowed. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm telling
there are
you.
areas that have structure, but there are some that, like, everything was slowly falling underneath it, that all it takes is the right amount of pressure and you'll just fall straight through.
I don't know why this popped in my head.
I'm pretty sure that's how I heard about it, was a case of somebody falling through one of those holes.
I don't know why this popped in my head, but it's the most terrifying thing I've thought of. I guarantee you somewhere in that fucking ancient forest, there's a snake with legs.
A dragon.
Just a lizard.
That's a salamander.
No, it's a snake. Isn't it? It's a snake.
With 2 legs. Just 2.
With legs. It's a snake. It's long and thin and it slithers because it's got legs on the side that it can then fold down to start running.
That's terrifying.
That is a terrifying thought.
Why does that sound comical?
It does until it's chasing you.
I guess it's the hand motions. He did this. I'm like, I imagine.
It's just like,
hey, real quick, what's scarier? The snake with legs to the side that slithers at you, or when it goes into Usain Bolt mode and it just starts running? When
Usain
it starts
Bolt
running,
mode,
right?
Terrifying. I closed the door.
It's terrifying. Mm-hmm. What if it's faster on feet?
I think what would be more terrifying is if it, like, let's say
it
just has like these two arms and like hands with claws that come out the
but
side,
like
and
with full blown
it to climb
but
around
like full
everywhere.
blown mandibles, like it's got like thumbs and everything. Like just
No.
Yeah, fuck that noise, dog. That's down there somewhere.
Terrifying.
And it can pull the
nightmare
arms
fuel.
in like Stitch.
Hey, I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but soon, very soon, Us is going to take it as a form and then appear in front of Salo while he sleeps tonight. And that's going to be crawling all over his walls.
Just hanging on by... Look, it's going to be a snake, but it's going to have a claw in the ceiling just dangling.
And
Like
with
a
that
spider
being
from a
said,
web.
ladies and gentlemen,
All right, I guess that'll do it for us. We'll leave you with that terrifying thought.
Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this adventure. Episode 21. We had some technical difficulties, but hopefully we made it through it.
We hustled through it.
Just a reminder, you can find us on pretty much every social media platform. You can ask your questions on Twitter and YouTube. That is where we are checking. If you're asking questions on other places like TikTok or Instagram, you're never going to get an answer.
never.
Because we're not actively using those platforms, but you can follow us there for when we start using them properly. But please, feel free to ask your questions. Let us know anything you want us to talk about. Keep in mind, you don't have to ask questions. If you just found a topic you'd like to hear us talk about, just tell us. We're happy to talk about almost anything.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yep, or get your notification bill. Yeah, I think that's everything. You gentlemen have anything else?
Nope.
No, he's not going to let go of those charges. No.
With all that being said, we greatly thank you. We are Beyond Us, and when in doubt, we'll see you next time. Later, guys.
Woo!